Leo, you didn't stumble onto this message by chance. You were guided here by something higher, something divine. And the moment your eyes landed on this title, your soul already knew, this is about me. Because deep inside, you've been feeling it, haven't you? That pull, that whisper, that subtle yet undeniable sense that something in your life no longer fits, no longer nourishes you, no longer feels like home. But you've stayed because you're loyal, because you don't walk away easily, because you believe that if you give it more time, more effort, more love, it will change. That's the lion's heart, fierce, faithful, and forged in fire. But now, that fire is being dimmed, and the universe won't allow that much longer. There is a place, a relationship, a situation, a space in your life that is draining the very essence of who you are. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's consistent. A slow, silent erosion of your light. And right now, this very moment, God is orchestrating your quiet exit. Not because you failed, not because you're being punished, but because your light is too sacred to be wasted in darkness. But if I walk away, won't that mean I gave up? No, it means you're finally listening to your intuition, to your body, to your ancestors, to the divine. This message isn't here to shame you, it's here to free you. Because when a Leo, a true Leo, forgets who they are, the entire world goes a little darker, and heaven won't stand by and watch that happen. So before we dive deeper, I want you to ask yourselves, what part of my life have I been shrinking in just to be tolerated? What space have I stayed in that no longer sees my value? If something came to mind just now, that's the space God is trying to remove you from. Share it in the comments if you're ready to name it. Your truth might be the light another Leo needs to see theirs. And now let's walk through what's really happening, not on the surface, but in the spiritual architecture of your life. Let's decode why this shift is happening, what signs to watch for, and how to move through it with grace, wisdom, and power. Because Leo, this isn't an ending. This is your divine relocation. Part 1. The signs you're being quietly removed from the wrong place. Leo, before divine intervention becomes loud, it begins with whispers. And the truth is, those whispers have already started echoing through your life. They don't announce themselves with thunder. They show up in subtler ways, that growing discomfort you can't name, the conversations that leave you empty, the relationships that feel one-sided, like you're pouring into a cup that has no bottom. You brush it off. You tell yourself it's just a rough week, a passing moment, a misunderstanding. But Leo, your soul knows better. You're not just tired. You're being spiritually pulled away. The signs are everywhere if you're brave enough to look. You used to walk into a room and feel alive. Now you feel drained. You used to share your ideas with pride. Now you hesitate, afraid they'll be dismissed again. You used to shine without apology. Now you're shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. And still you stay, because that's what Leos do. You fight, you endure, you believe in people, you give second chances. But here's the divine truth. You are not meant to be strong in the wrong place. You are meant to be seen, valued, and supported in the right one. When the divine begins to remove a Leo from a toxic space, life starts feeling heavier, not because you're broken, but because that space can no longer hold your fire. It begins rejecting your energy because it was never meant to contain you. Here's what that often looks like. People growing distant without explanation, passions turning cold, being overlooked or dismissed in conversations, feeling like you're too much, too loud, too honest, too intense. Night after night, lying awake with that aching sense that something's off. These are not breakdowns, they're breakthroughs in disguise. And Leo, your greatest spiritual challenge isn't defeat, it's over loyalty. Your heart stays long after your soul has left the room. You keep trying to make it work because you think leaving means failure. But it's not failure, it's discernment, it's wisdom, it's evolution. So I ask you with love and truth, what is it costing you to stay? Not financially, spiritually, emotionally, energetically. Have you been silencing yourself to keep the peace? Dimming your light to avoid being too much? Putting up with passive disrespect, subtle dismissals, or energy that just feels wrong? That's not peace, that's self-betrayal. And Leo, you were not born to betray yourself. You were born to lead, to walk boldly, to inspire, to shine unapologetically. If this is hitting home, comment below. I'm starting to see the signs. Because the moment you name it, the process of release begins. Life lesson from part 1. Don't mistake endurance for alignment. Staying somewhere that drains your soul is not loyalty, it's spiritual suffocation. And you were never created to survive in silence. You were made to roar in freedom. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of your divine departure. Part 2. The Loyalty Trap. Why Leos stay too long in places that dull their shine. Leo, you are loyal sometimes to a fault. And while the world may admire that trait, it can become your undoing when it keeps you bound to people, places, and patterns that no longer serve your soul. Let's be honest. How many times have you stayed long after the warmth was gone? How many times have you told yourself, they'll change, it's just a rough patch, I owe them this, I gave my word? But behind those justifications is a truth that Leo rarely speaks out loud. You don't leave because part of you still hopes that your love will be enough, that your loyalty will inspire them to rise, that your light will teach them how to shine too. But here's what the universe wants you to understand. Your loyalty should not become your prison. Staying in environments that slowly dim your fire doesn't make you noble. It makes you exhausted. And Leo, when you're exhausted, you become unrecognizable even to yourself. You start questioning your worth. You overthink every word, every glance, every silence. You take their coldness personally. You start believing you're too much or not enough. But it's not you. It's the space that's misaligned. It's the people who've grown addicted to your warmth, but refuse to give any of their own. The truth is, some people love your light, but hate your shine. They want your attention, your energy, your generosity. But the moment you ask for the same in return, they go cold. Or worse, they gaslight you into thinking you're too dramatic for needing anything at all. And yet, you stay. Why? Because leaving feels like betrayal. Because you fear that walking away means you didn't love them enough. Because Leo hearts don't let go easily, they love fully, fiercely, and forever. But here's the truth, no one told you. Sometimes leaving is the highest form of love for yourself. Sometimes your exit is not a rejection, it's a protection. Comment below if you've ever stayed longer than you should have just because you love too much. Because you're not alone. Every Leo has a scar from a time they stayed too long in a place that only fed off their light. And every Leo eventually must learn this. Life lesson from part 2. Love without boundaries becomes bondage. If they only love you when you're convenient, quiet, or giving, that's not love. That's consumption. And you were not born to be consumed. You were born to lead, to inspire, to set the standard. So if your loyalty has been keeping you stuck, it's time to loyalty yourself first. Part 3. When God steps in the spiritual signs that your exit has already begun. Leo, there comes a moment in every chosen soul's life when the divine stops waiting for you to move and starts moving for you. You see, God is patient, but not passive, especially when it comes to a Leo whose light is being dimmed. If you've been feeling like your life is quietly unraveling, opportunities slipping through your fingers, people changing, unexpectedly sudden emotional overwhelm, that's not a coincidence. That's divine orchestration. When the divine steps in, nothing is random. It's alignment disguised as chaos. At first, you may feel like everything's falling apart. But look again. Really look. That job you once begged for, now it drains you. That friend you used to call every day, now they feel distant. That place that once felt like home, now it suffocates you. And here's the kicker, you didn't even choose to change, but change is happening anyway. That's how you know God is involved, because when a Leo resists leaving, the divine creates a storm they can no longer ignore. You might be seeing signs like unexplained conflict, people turning against you without cause. Sudden endings, relationships falling apart despite your effort. Loss of passion. What once brought joy now feels meaningless. Spiritual tension. Dreams, gut feelings, synchronicities that won't let you ignore them. These are not punishments. They are portals. Portals into the next dimension of your purpose. Leo, you've been praying for clarity, for breakthrough, for peace. But here's what most forget. Breakthrough requires breaking. And clarity often begins with collapse. God isn't destroying your life. He's dismantling what was never built on truth. And the moment you begin cooperating with the shift instead of resisting it, you'll notice something strange flow returns. The people who left replaced with deeper, more aligned souls. The opportunity that fell through made room for something greater. The silence that once scared you now feels like peace. If you've noticed sudden changes or strange synchronicities lately, comment, I feel the shift. You're not imagining it. You're being repositioned. And while it may feel messy now, trust this. Life lesson from part 3. Divine intervention doesn't always feel gentle, but it's always precise. God never moves without purpose. And if you're being pulled away, it's only because where you're going is more sacred than where you've been. So breathe, Leo. This isn't your life falling apart. It's your false life being stripped away, so your true one can begin. Part 4. What awaits you after the exit? Healing power and divine recognition. Leo, you've walked through fire. You've said goodbye to what once felt permanent. You've let go or were forced to let go of places, people, and patterns that no longer aligned with your truth. So now the question becomes, what happens next? And here's the sacred truth, Leo. After every divine exit comes divine restoration, but it doesn't come all at once. It comes in waves like sunlight returning after a long night. At first, it might feel quiet. You'll notice you can breathe again deeply. You'll wake up without dread. You'll feel a strange sense of lightness, even if you're still unsure what's ahead. That's healing. And for Leos, healing starts when you are no longer in environments that fight your light. Your confidence slowly returns. Your vision sharpens. Your voice becomes louder, not because you're yelling, but because you finally feel heard. And with that, recognition comes. Not forced recognition, not the kind you begged for, but the kind that flows to you naturally because now you're in a space that celebrates what others used to resent. You'll meet people who see you truly, who don't just admire your strength, but respect your softness, who don't compete with your shine, but reflect it back. What used to feel like too much for others now becomes your magnet. In career, you'll notice new paths open. Doors that were once locked suddenly swing wide, not because you changed who you are, but because you finally stepped into a space where your essence fits. In love, you'll stop chasing people who misunderstand your intensity, because now you'll attract someone who matches your fire, not fears it. In spirit, you'll begin to feel whole again, not by doing more, but by being more yourself. Comment below if you've already started seeing new doors open. Right, I'm ready to rise. This is the part most Leos forget. You were never meant to fight forever. You were meant to lead, yes, but also to receive. You were meant to inspire, but also to be inspired. You were born to give love, but also to be loved fully in return. So let this be your reminder. Life lesson from part 4. You don't have to prove yourself where you're truly meant to be. In aligned spaces, your energy is not questioned. It is honored. Your light is not seen as a threat. It is welcomed. And your presence, it feels like home to you and everyone around you. You're not just recovering now, you're rising. Part 5. How to prepare emotionally, spiritually, and practically for the new chapter. Leo, the divine has cleared the path, but now it's your move. This next chapter isn't just about receiving, it's about aligning. Because while miracles can meet you where you are, they manifest fully where you're prepared. Let's talk about what preparation truly looks like for a Leo entering a season of divine restoration. 1. Emotional preparation. You've been through something real. Even if it wasn't dramatic on the outside spiritually, it was a death and rebirth. You must allow yourself to grieve the place you've outgrown, even if it hurt you. Acknowledge your loyalty without guilt or shame. Forgive yourself for staying too long or leaving too late. Emotions are not weaknesses. They are confirmations that your soul was involved. Healing takes time, Leo, but it happens faster when you don't rush it. Give yourself permission to feel before you force yourself to rebuild. 2. Spiritual preparation. Your intuition is louder now, because without all the noise from that toxic space, your spirit can finally speak and be heard. Now is the time to pray differently, not just for outcomes, but for wisdom, clarity, alignment. Listen more. The answers are already arriving through signs, dreams, quiet moments. Protect your light. Every rebirth needs boundaries. You're not the same Leo you were before. This version of you is sharper, more spiritually tuned, and far more discerning. Feed your spirit with practices that reconnect you. Meditation, sacred silence, journaling, fire rituals, whatever reminds you who you really are. 3. Practical preparation. The spiritual always births the physical, so if your energy is shifting, your world will too. Start making space in your life for what's coming. Clear out what no longer serves you, old habits, toxic people, limiting routines. Update your environment, rearrange your space, cleanse it, claim it anew. Reconnect with purpose, set intentions not based on fear, but on truth. And, most importantly, stop apologizing for preparing for more. Because Leo more is your birthright, not your burden. Comment below, I'm preparing my life for what I prayed for. Let others know they're not alone in this sacred realignment. Life lesson from part 5. You can't carry the old into the new and expect it to feel different. Your next level requires a new level of self-honor. Not perfection, not control, just honesty, presence, faith. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to make space for what's on its way. And trust, it's already closer than you think. Final message. A closing word to the Leo soul. You were born to shine without apology. Leo-y. If you've made it this far, it's because your soul knew this message was meant for you. You've walked through confusion, loss, silence, rejection, resistance. You've questioned yourself more times than you care to admit, but still, you kept your heart open. Still, you showed up. Still, you loved. And now the divine is showing up for you. This wasn't about punishment. It was about positioning, removing what was draining you so you could finally receive what was always meant for you. You were never created to shrink for anyone's comfort. You were never meant to stay quiet so others could feel big. You were never designed to live dimmed, half-seen, or barely heard. You are Leo, sun-powered, fire-forged, heart-led, spirit-chosen. And yes, you've been wounded, but you are not broken. You are becoming bolder, brighter, more in tune with your true identity. Because here's the real secret. When a Leo stops trying to fit into spaces they've outgrown, they become unstoppable. This is your moment, not to prove, not to please, but to return to your throne, to your fire, to the version of yourself that never needed fixing, only freeing. If this message touched your soul, comment, I'm ready to shine without apology. Let the tribe of Leos know the rise has begun. Final life lesson. The places that couldn't hold you were never meant to. The people who couldn't see you were never assigned to. And the version of you that tolerated all of that was only the cocoon. Now the lion awakens. Before you go, if this felt like a message written directly to your soul, subscribe to Leo Zodiac Power and turn on notifications, because your journey isn't ending, it's just beginning. We're here for every transformation, every divine shift, every roar that's still building inside you. The divine didn't bring you this far just to leave you now. The path is clear, the light is rising, and the world is finally ready for you. Leo, go be unforgettable.